Okay, hi. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I haven't posted in a bit, but today what I'm going to do is I'm going to be redoing um, my site uncredmath.com, which is my site I use with my high school math students. I'm a high school math teacher by default. That's my daytime job. Um, and what I want to do is I want to update the site. Now, I have the site as it is currently. It looks like this. So it's just got this. Um, It's got this big header here, which I had something for the holidays here, and then a drop-down menu. I want to redo it, make it a little bit more snazzy. And part of the reason I want to redo it is one, I don't need the drop-down menu. Now, if you are teaching teenagers, the easier that you make it to find information, the more likely they're going to do it. A lot of them want to find reasons not to find it. This is clearly labeled Algebra 2, Pre-Calculus, but what I started to realize throughout the years, it's just easier just to post a link where the homework is due. Now, you see I had homework up through the 19th of December. They're coming back tomorrow, so I'm going to have this archived. Now, in my file manager, um, this is the index of the home page. So I'm going to be taking from this and using this and putting some of the stuff, the links here, and helping myself with that, or the archives. Okay. What I want to do is I want to kind of make the homepage kind of snazzy, but I don't want to drop down menu. I'm just going to get rid of it. I'm just going to make all the information off the homepage, and then you'll see down here I'm linking to this Design site, which is just a WordPress install on another domain I have, and that is it's more of a STEM site that I'm trying to get going, and we'll see if that goes anywhere. And what I've been doing for homework is been making them go and picking it. An SAT problem they put up, I put the problem, they have to write down the problem, try it. I have the solution, so all they have to do is basically write down the problem and read what the solution is, and I'm trying to expose them to that because we want to improve our SAT scores. I thought it would be fun to redo this. And I have some on just your plain old Notepad app. Okay, this is the Notepad text editor. So I have some more complex ones that I could use, like Notepad++ or Visual Studio Code. But this computer, I got this computer over the holidays, just as a computer just to fool around with code, and just HTML and CSS. Cheap computer, $239 at Staples. It has 4 gigabytes RAM memory, which is very small. I think I could install more if I wanted to, and like 128 gigabytes of storage. But small computer, but it's pretty fast actually. So we're going to see, and it was installed with Windows 10 in S mode. So I thought, oh, it'd be kind of cool to see if I can just use the Notepad app and code. I went to the Microsoft store, and they do have Notepad++, the unofficial version as an app. I downloaded that. Eventually, I switched out of the Windows 10 in S mode, just so I could download some stuff like Visual Studio Code and like OBS Studio, which I'm recording this on. But this is, I'm going to try and show you that you can build a pretty cool website just using a very simple text editor. You don't need to use Visual Studio Code. It's nice. It's an awesome text editor, and it probably streamlines the process a lot. But you don't really need that to build a cool HTML CSS site. Now, as a disclaimer, I've been very busy with my schoolwork and getting my students as prepared as they can in the math classes. So I am a little rusty with my coding. So with my markup, we should say, I was not going to use JavaScript or PHP, but with my HTML markup, I might be a little rusty, but bear with me. I think we're going to make a cool site today. Okay, so to start this off, I'm going to start by just declaring the doc type, and it's an HTML site, and I'm going to try and make this, try and take it slow through this video also, so it kind of helps me because I'm a little rusty with my markup, and it's going to help people who are new to learning HTML and CSS. And if you fall through, you can make a great site. great kind of landing page for a math class, and then take it and do whatever you want with it. And we're going to use some CSS Flex Grid while doing this. Okay, so enough about that. I'm talking a lot. Let's get into the HTML. So the other tag I want to make is an HTML tag, and I want to close that out. And one thing you note when I'm doing this is normally text editor will tab you over, and really when you're writing code for other people to read, you want to have tabs and you want to have it nicely written so you can easily see it. Notepad doesn't automatically tab, so you have to automatically hit the tab. Like you're hitting the tab and then you come back and it's back. So I'm actually not going to tab this over. Now, the browser doesn't care whether it's tabbed or not. It's for other people to be able to read your code. Again, if you're just doing this for yourself, you don't really need to tab in if you know the code yourself. I'm going to put some comments still, probably. But anyways, all right. So we have our HTML opening and closing tag. We also need a head opening and closing tag and a body opening and closing tag. Within the head, comment here, we have some metadata. And the way you make a comment is you do this less than sign, exclamation, 2 dashes, and then you can put a space and you close it out with 2 dashes and a greater than sign. Okay, and the browser will not read that, but it's for you to say that, okay, I'm putting my first thing I'm going to do is set the character set. So it's going to be UTF-8. And that way when you're using like special kind of stuff, like if you're making an arrow, you can look up online, Google it. There's a bunch of HTML symbols you can use. Radical sign, like that's ampersand radic, semicolon. You can do stuff like that, and setting the character set will actually make it so it looks right in the browser. Next one I'm going to set up is meta name is going to be viewport, and the content for that is going to be the width. We're going to set it to the device width with an initial scale of 1.0. And some people just put 1, but that allows it to scale it based off the device you're using. I guess you could change it. I never have. Next one I'm going to set is the description. So this is the thing that will appear with Google. And I'm actually going to go, because I already put a description in, and see what I put in. I'm going to copy and paste that. Okay. So, free mathematics information works problems for students, parents, teachers. Good. I'm going to copy and paste that, put that in here. But you can write your website, write whatever you want for a description. Okay, now as I'm building this, I'm going to just build this page, and I'm going to eventually include a style sheet, but I'm just going to write my style in the head. So I'm going to do a style opening and closing tag. And that's where I'm going to do my CSS. And then later on, I'll replace that with a link to the CSS file. Okay. Other thing that's important is the title. So we want opening and closing title tag. And I'm just going to copy and paste here. The home page for Math. Okay. And now we're going to start into the body. All right. So within the body, I want the main stuff centered. Okay, so I'm going to create a div, and I'm going to give it a class of container. Okay, and then I'm going to close out the div. Okay. All right, and within that, I'm going to have different little divs themselves. One is going to be the archives. And I'm going to declare a class for that because I'm probably going to use CSS Flex Grid for that. I'm going to close out that div. Now, it might be a little important as we're doing this. The one thing about not tabbing is you might get confused. So you could, if you wanted to, you could tab this out here just to give you a little bit better view of it. Maybe we'll keep with that because it's a little nicer. It is a little bit tedious in Notepad. That's why you may want to get something like Notepad++ or for a more complicated one, maybe Visual Studio Code. But any number of free text editors out there, but you can also just basically do this on Notepad. Okay, so we also want maybe current. Okay. See how it brings it back. Normally, a normal text editor you hit return, it'll be out there. So that's a little annoying, and I'm going to include some stuff in here. So maybe we'll just tab it back here. You don't have to tab; it doesn't matter. Okay. All right, and then let's take a look at the page. Okay, so I have pre-calculus. Scroll down. Snow day bonus. So I want something with a header here. An H1. We'll say current SAT. Okay, and I'm going to put some stuff in here after I build this site. I will come up with some links, but maybe we do a little list, unordered list, which is the UL tag, and we have some list items here. So list item 1. We'll copy that a few more times. Copy it a few more times. Okay, so we have list item 1, list item 2, list item 3, and list item 4. Coffee. We got that. Now, we want to save this somewhere, so we're going to go to HTML websites, create a new folder, call that Kurt. Okay, call it whatever you want, and we file this as an index.html. Okay. All right. And then with the archive, so this is where we're going to want to cut and paste, or we're going to want to copy some stuff in. So let's go here, and let's go to my archives. So now I want to copy these links into a CSS grid, maybe 4 a piece, and so I'm going to have to create some more div classes. Let's call this archive column 1. Okay. We're going to do, actually, let me just copy and paste this, it's easier. We'll do 4 of those. Okay. And we'll change the classes. All right, so we're going to have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And then we'll do some lists in each of these. Okay. Type this over a million times, so copy and paste. Okay. And then we'll copy and paste this list inside of each of these. Okay. What did I do? Got rid of it. All right. Okay. And let's see. We have that. Did I add another closing? Yeah, I think I did. Let's space these out. See, this is why tabbing is nice. Let's break it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna save it. I just hit Control and S to save it. All right. Now we want to copy and paste some stuff. So we're going to take some of these links and start to paste them in where the lists are. The whole tag. Okay. All I'm doing is copying and pasting in these links. You can see it's an anchor tag, so it's ahref, and then in quotes is the link. And then in between, when we close it out, we have target equals blank. That opens it in a separate window. In between, I have the what's going to appear on the screen. So it says SAT homework 13 due Monday. Da, 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 da. I can click on it and go to that site. Okay, so that's one unordered list that fills up archive column one, that div. And that's going to probably be on the left of the screen. Okay, and then let's keep going. We'll the next ones. Right. Copy and paste. We want to copy from the opening tag to the closing tag. And I'm just switching between screens by hitting Alt and Tab. Don't know that trick. All right. And we're going to have the second archive column 2 div. Okay, moving on to archive column 3. Let's just keep going. Okay, and now we're on to archive column 4. I'm not going to include the study guide. That was for previous tests. We'll do some mini SAT stuff. Um, all right, we'll just take one of these. Okay. All right. So I'm going to paste that in. I'm going to hit Control Save. Bring these screens down. And then I'm going to go to my documents. Go to my sites. and we're going to click on this and then right click and click open. Okay, so that's what we have so far. So does not look good because we don't have any styling yet for it. All right, so what we want to do is, one, we don't even know that you're on Uncut Math, so it's probably want to put something in the header, something along the lines of welcome to Uncut Math. So let's go up here, right below the right below the container tag here, header tag, and then in the header, say H1 tag with a class of center, and we'll say welcome to the newly redesigned UncutMath.com. Exclamation point, close out your H1 tag, and we're going to hit Control Save, go back here, refresh. Okay, maybe under there we'll have just a line break. Okay, all right, so that looks slightly better. Okay, so and then probably at the bottom we want some kind of footer. So right below the container, this is here. Create a footer. Close that out. And here we're going to do a paragraph with a class of center. And we're going to say copyright. And then we'll do ampersand copy, semicolon, gives a copyright symbol, 2019 to 2020. Uncut, all rights reserved. It seems professional. Control and save. Maybe right above that we'll have a line break as well. All right. So currently we don't have any of the styling. So let's start to style this file. So we'll go up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the root, style with the root. And in here, I'm going to say that family going to be, let's say, Arial, sans serif, and close that. Okay, hit Control Save, go up here, and change the font. Okay, so and now we could bring in any kind of font we wanted from Google Fonts, but I'm just going to stick with this. It's basic. It doesn't need to be anything that impressive. Now, I did say I wanted to get my content kind of centered, so we're going to focus on that next. To do that, we're going to focus on the container. And within the container, we're going to have a max width of 900 pixels. Sounds good. Semicolon there. Now close that. We're going to make the margin automatic. So we do it by doing that. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so that centers everything. Okay. So we also want to do something with the font styles. So I'm going to put in a comment in my CSS. You do it with a / asterisk space, and close it with a asterisk and then forward slash. We're going to have dot center, and I'm going to say for that, we're going to align the text to the center. Okay, Control and save. So now, before I refresh, you see it's left aligned, and now it moves that and the footer to the center. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to leave this like this, but I don't like these lists having a little dot here. Okay. So we're going to go over here. We'll say the unordered list style, list style type. Okay. When we write style, I have the opening bracket and the closing bracket. Okay. We're going to go back, and that takes away that dot there. Okay. Now, I was thinking, going to Pexels, getting a cool background image. Let's type in Snowy Mountains and see what comes up. Okay, Snowy Mountains. That is sweet. It speaks to me. Okay, so I want to download the large. I'm going to do that. Say show in the folder. Okay, that out over here. Okay. And I'm going to create a new folder within my Uncred path, and we're going to call that IMG. And I'm going to put that here, drag this into here, and I'm going to rename this file to background. Alrighty. Okay, so now I'm going to move it up here because it's the body. And I want to say background image, I believe. And then we'll have URL. And it's going to be ng/background JPEG. Close that. Do that. That. Okay, and then check it out and see if I did it correctly. Yep. Okay, so that's kind of cool. May want to fool with the centering a little bit of that. We'll see. As we go. And I think for the body, one other thing I want to say: the minimum height is going to be have to be 100% of the view height. I don't think that's going to change anything because it's already over that. But when I move this stuff into the grid, it's going to change some things. Okay. Another thing I want to do is I want the archives. I want the background of that to be white smoke. Okay. And do that. That's going to give me a background for that. That's putting my footer in the background, so I think I maybe did delete an extra. Yep. Okay, so you see you got that as a background. Also in the archives, what I want to do is create some padding of 15 pixels. I'm just hitting Control Save when I do that. Okay, so that kind of gives now that the background here where you you got some space. So it's not the text isn't very crowded right up against it. Okay. Other thing, I want a little bit of padding in my list style, so let's do, or in my list item, so let's do 5 pixels there. Okay, giving me a little bit more. And what I'm thinking, we'll see how this works out. So anyways, I'm going to want some backgrounds in between here as well. So let's do current class. Move that up here. Current class. We'll say that the background is also going to be white smoke. Padding is going to be also 15 pixels. Keep it consistent. Okay. But I want a little space between those two. So I'm going to say margin bottom is going to be 25 pixels. Let's do that. Let's see what happens. Okay, so now we've got some space. You're seeing the lake behind it. Maybe I want do some background opacity. Google that. Let's see if I can do that. This is background CSS. We might have to do RGBA. Let's do that. Okay. Sometimes you have to look that up. Yeah, and it has the opacity. Okay. So now I want to look up white RGBA. Okay, so I think it was 245, 245, 45, and then the opacity is 1. Actually, I'll save time. Let's just try it. Okay, so RGBA. We'll try it on the current. 245, 245, 245, and let's do 0.8. Let's try that. See if this works. Yeah, so you can start to see the background a little bit, and we could change this. We could make it like 0.5, and then look at that. You start to see the image behind it, and that's kind of what I want. So I'm going to do that with the archives as well. So again, we're not going to do white smoke. We're going to do RGBA, 245, 245, 5, and then 0.5. Okay. And I want the links not to have that color. So the color of the text, do that. So in the root, font color. And we might, let's try 333. See how that comes out. That's fine for that. It's not font color though, actually. It's just color. All right, let's see if it's too light with the background. Okay, so it does lighten it up. May or may not think about that. Links. So I could type ULLIA as a text decoration. Well, I want to keep the text decoration. I could do the color System 323. Okay, and I might want to increase that opacity. I might not. Um, Probably want something behind the footer as well. Let's put some style behind the footer and the head. Okay, so let's do the header. Background. RGBA. 5, 245, 0.5. Okay. Close that, and then footer. Same thing. Copy it, paste it. Okay. All right, and also want some padding. 15 pixels. Okay. That looks kind of nice. Yeah, pretty good. Okay, and I might want to just change this background opacity just a little bit. Let's do maybe 0.6. Make it slightly. Okay. All right. So we've got some current homework we'll put in there. You can kind of still see the image in the background, which is cool. I may make the text darker, just go with full black, but that's pretty sweet. Perhaps the other thing I might do is create a border radius on the archive. So border radius, do 10 pixels. Control and save, and I'll show you what that does. Okay, so it gets a little bit rounded corners, which you can see here, and I kind of like that. But we don't want it. Yeah, see. All right, so we want some space now. We want some margin at the bottom. Let's do 25 pixels. We do that. It's its own separate little spot. We might also get the current SAT. The current section we might want to do also might want to do a margin top of 25. Okay, and you can play with stuff and get it to look the way you like. So I've got the header, got the current, got that nice image there. So you see the whole image, so it's making it look pretty nice. But now I'm going to play with the CSS grid. Now I'm looking at the space here and the amount of stuff I've written here, and the links. Let's see, the links they work. Going to the other site, I have my path problem set up. That's all good. Okay. But I want to do some grid here, but I'm thinking with the archives that we might want to do not 4 across, but 2 across with the amount of text that we have. So let's do that. All right. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to have column 1, column 2, and actually I'm going to make this column 1 and column 2. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to wrap column 1 and column 2 in another div, and we'll call that div class equals grid 2. And we'll close it out after archive column 2. Okay. And we'll go down here. And we'll go div class equals grid 2. And we'll close it out right after here. After the archive column 2. Okay. Up in the style, go to grid 2. And we're going to do the display of grid. And grid template column. Column template. No. Check that. Grid column template. Okay. Grid column template. We're going to say one fractional. I'll say auto. Let me check that just to make sure. Grid template columns. Okay. All right. Now the way this works, this is like 1 to 2 here, and then 2 to 3 here. Okay. So where we have archive, what's it called? Archive column 1. We're going to have this is grid column. We're going to go from 1 to 2, and that goes from start here to right here. Okay. And then archive column 2 is going to go from 2 to 3. So that should go from here to here. Let's see if that works. Yep, perfect. Okay, so we got it kind of like the way we want it. I think I do want to darken up the text, so I'm going to go up here and say, okay, with the, now let's take a look. It's a little bit darker, a little bit nicer, stands out a little bit. And actually, I may increase the opacity of the archive. Gives it a little bit darker feel. 0.7 across the board. Okay. Oops, messed something up. What did I do? Yep, yep. Deleted a parentheses. I messed up quite a few things. Okay, so I have these rounded corners on each of these. Like that. That softens it a little bit. Let's do that with everything. So that was the border radius. Just take this. Okay. All right. That softens each of these sections. Okay. All right. All right. SAT homework. I kind of want to have this centered for now. Okay. So the current class. I just margin. No, that doesn't work. Yeah, I know what I'll do. Display, flex, justify my content, center, and then align the items. This should work. Take out, let's see, take out this justifying content. Okay, what is that? Say, let's make a class of W100. Okay, we'll say we'll give it a class of center. That is down the class down here. So W100. Try that. Nope, don't like that either. Oh, got another idea. Bear with me one sec. Take this class away. Let's try break, see if that does anything. No. Yeah, that's not quite what I want. So I'm going to change it for a moment. Bear with me. I'm just thinking a way to make it look a little nicer. This might not be the way I want, but and we got the space. We can put the current item here. Various items that we have for the homework. Maybe I may play with that a little bit. It's not quite centering quite the way I want it to either. Well, I think it is centered, but it just looks a little odd. So we'll have to see how those come out. Got a nice winter image since it is the winter behind it. And this nice part so far. So this is looking good, but now when I go to a smaller screen, one issue is that these are kind of crammed together. They're going to be crammed together on a phone. So what I'm going to want to do is do a media query. So let's go here and go in our style. Put a comment in. And we'll say at media max width 600 pixels. Okay, I'm going to do it like that. I'm going to say grid to display is going to be a block. Let's see how that works out. Okay. That gets me what I want. All right, so we have the block display there. I can work on alignment a little bit here. Kind of puts it over when you have lists. So I might get rid of the list, but coming along rather nicely. And I think this is going to be a cool new look for the site. So they can find their homework here. I'll probably put it into like a grid style like this. As I move on, I may increase the opacity a little bit to 0.8 even. Actually, try that. Let's do 0.8 across the board. Okay. All right. Yeah, that gives it a nice look. You still see the picture behind, but you can clearly see the items. So that's nice. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to now this is my site that's online. So this is some of you have asked in the comments, well, how do I get this online? Okay, so what I'm going to do is close that, and we're going to delete it, but we're not going to skip the trash and permanently delete the file. So we're going to delete the index for now. Boom. Okay, and then we're going to upload the new index file with the style written right on the index page, which for a one-page type website, so go here, might be the way to go. And just later on move it into a different file. Okay, so a couple things are going to happen. It's not going to look quite the way it did on my local browser. So I'm refreshing it. Look, we don't have a background image. So close this out. Now we do have a folder called image here. And we have some files in here, but we don't have that background. So I'm going to upload that. And that was in this folder on my computer. Okay. This is online. Let's refresh. And there we go. There's your background image. Bring it down to the size of a mobile phone. Works pretty nice. So we've redone the site in Notepad, which is a extremely basic text editor. Now, let me see. Let me just open Notepad++. Show you the difference here. Close out these files, and we'll open. The index file. I'll show you the difference. I have this. So it has some highlighting here. Now, if I set it with my style, I picked Obsidian. But if I do that's Bespin. I do default, it looks like that. Okay. And let's say I want to save and close, but I want to get this a little bit bigger. I can hit Control and then scroll my mouse and get it bigger with all the stuff. And I could tab this all in so it looked easier to read. I got all my style here. That's how it would look in Notepad. And then let's open up Visual Studio Code. Just showing you the difference in text editors. And we're going to open the file. Path, index, open it. And this is what it looks like. And Visual Studio Code is pretty nice. It highlights a lot of things. So you got the mini map on the side here. This is why a lot of people prefer this text editor. It's really nice. Makes it easy to see. Notepad here is a little bland, but you can use Notepad and build a cool website. So anyway, so thank you for bearing with me through this video. If you have any questions, please comment. I am very busy as a school teacher, but I will try and answer the questions as they come. And sorry for not doing videos for a while. I just was so caught up with school that I had a lot of work to do. All right, thanks for watching.